offensively, where the guys were able to sum up that last extra bit, and how much did that tempo fatigue some of the players?
Well, that last drive, first of all, we played a little bit soft in coverage at the beginning, and thought we had a sack, which would have cut the clock running, and quarterback got rid of the ball and got the intentional grounding call, but that did stop the clock. So then once we got near the 50-yard line, we started to be a little bit more aggressive, and particularly up the middle where we thought we could get some hands up in the quarterback's face, and Joe Bacci made a huge play, but bottom line is we got a little more aggressive, and our kids were ready to be more aggressive.
Mike, for you, what surprised you maybe about your defense tonight, or did you get I don't think you had an inclination maybe that they'd scored 31, but any surprises to you about your defense tonight?
I think I was a little bit surprised. I think we're all a little bit surprised how fast Utah State was able to run their offense. I mean, they really did a great job. We thought we would be able to sub if we were right on top of it. Obviously, it caught us in the first drive. We had to stop doing that. So that was difficult, but the quarterback, he's a good player, and he hit some small windows. We adjusted and started getting a little bit more man and trying to take away those windows, and he was still able to complete some balls. Not many big plays down the field, but impressed me with how consistent they were, being able to dink and dunk it and put together 12, 15 play drives. We need to do a better job of turning those into field goals.
Dave, over here, it seemed you guys were searching, especially on the offensive line, for somebody to push. There was some moving some guys around. Were you disappointed with what you saw from that group? Did you expect, were you hoping for more of a push?
I'm disappointed in what our run game produced. You look at the last, you can get maybe misinterpret the rushing, because those last couple plays we ran some option right there. I mean, we got some chunks, big chunks right there. You take those plays out of it when we're trying to bang LJ up in there and a little bit of Connor up in there, we didn't get much movement, and I'm not sure what our run average was there. We didn't have any consistency. So disappointed in that, absolutely.
Follow-up for you, Dave, once again toward the back a little bit here in the middle.
Okay.
Brian talked about seeing things that you guys didn't anticipate or prepare for, that they changed the look from cover 2 to cover 4, and you had to design some plays that you've been working on, but not for this game, to go against them. What were the biggest adjustments you made at halftime?
I'm not sure we had to make any adjustments at halftime. I mean, we started moving the ball and we're putting some points on the board. We decided at halftime we needed to continue with a little bit of our inside zone. We're trying to get a little bit more push inside. Still didn't happen in the second half. We had opportunities in the first half to get the ball outside. We screwed up some signals, some motions. Just sort of shot ourselves in the foot a couple times.
Dave, on the speed option pitches, one went for touchdown, we had a holding penalty. When you look on film, you may disagree with that. Came back with the play again. What did you see for those calls, and how did you, when you look back at it, Brian rarely pitches on those, right, and your quarterbacks rarely pitch, but on those. But it was open this time. Did you anticipate that would be open? Why?
Yeah, we felt it would. Pretty much from watching film, but we try not to run Brian a whole lot. But obviously that became a critical situation right there, and we tried to get ways to get the ball on the outside throughout the course of the game, some jet sweeps and so forth, and they look good, but then you turn around, they're 3-4 yard gains. Not what we want, not what we needed. So that being a critical situation there, 3rd and 2 or 4, whatever that was there, the first option we ran, I figured it would be pretty good. And then the time we hit it for the touchdown, even the last one, it looked really good. So you always worry in that situation about pitching it. Obviously, we were in field goal range. That's a major concern. But Brian did a fantastic job of executing it.
Dave, obviously, turnovers, didn't run the ball the way you wanted to, but you look at the scoreboard, there's 38 points on there. Obviously, that was something we talked about a lot in the offseason. Does that give you at least, it was a little closer than you guys probably wanted?
A little bit, not much. I mean, you leave 2, you throw a pick 6 and you leave 2 touchdowns. I mean, run the 1-inch line, get a penalty, move back. We're in the other time we're inside the 5, I think. Get a penalty, move back. You can't do that. You can't do that in this conference, and we need to address it and we need to correct.
Mike, what kind of pressure does it put on the defense when you don't feel like you can substitute the way you were originally planning
You know, I don't think our guys panicked. I don't think they were overly tired. Maybe the defensive line, you know, is where it was the most difficult, not being able to substitute. But when they go that fast, it does simplify the calls you have to make. You can't maybe bring as complex of pressure schemes. You have to keep it simple. I think as the game went on, we handled a little bit better being able to audible ourselves when they took the time. But one thing they did very well was they sprinted to the line, regardless of whether they're going to snap it fast or take their own sweet time. And our guys adjusted to it, but yeah, we'd like to be able to keep fresh bodies in there without a doubt.
For both of you, it's hard to tell in an opener, right? You've only seen each team once. Who's really good? What's what? You've seen a lot of college football. How good was Utah State? How much of the areas you struggled was something that really your level of concern moving forward?
Well, I'll jump in there. I guess you always hope your biggest improvement is going to be between game 1 and game 2. You roll into game 1 with a high level of confidence, but not really knowing what to expect. So you should see great improvement between game 1 and game 2. I will say that. But also, Utah State offensively, I was impressed with their consistency. They did a very good job. They were able to string together drives without explosive plays. Usually, an offense needs an explosive play or a penalty within a drive to score, if you look at the stats, and they were able to do that. And obviously, we need to make a big play here or there and do better on a third down, and our guys will look at that and they'll take that challenge.
I think the defense was good, talent-wise. You know, we weren't sure coming into the game because they had some transfers and some junior college guys, so we weren't sure exactly what we were going to be up against. But I was impressed with their speed. That being said, you know, I thought we would have been able to handle them better, most especially, obviously the run game a little bit, but you know, we had some early struggles in pass protection coming off the edge. So that's something we need to polish up a little bit.
Dave, when you guys had so many close games last year and were in these type of situations, I know a lot of things don't carry over, but that's something that does. What makes Brian special in those moments? And is that a carryover from last year, just the offensive confidence and ability?
That's his makeup. I mean, he's extremely cool. I mean, he's very competitive, but I don't think he's a guy that really shows his emotion a whole lot. But obviously, through pick 6, and that upset him a lot. But you don't see that, you know. Connor Cook was similar to that. That, you know, you wouldn't know that he just did something like that. But I think it's just his makeup, along with having a lot of confidence in his own ability. So I think it carried over.
Dave, did you think that the pass protection improved a little bit as the game went along? And was Brian maybe affected by that in the second and third quarters?
I think there was a couple times he may have been, but to answer your question, yes, the pass protection improved.
And how did you get that improvement?
You know, it's just a matter of the tackle sitting on the edge. Most of the pressure was coming off the edge that we had early on, and we just did a better job of you know, protecting the edge.
We got 2 more, Matt, in the front row.
Mike over here, you're right. We talked the other day about Joe and how the next step for him is making those game-changing type plays. What would it say about him late in the game when they're moving the ball again, and he's able to make that play late and come up with the ball that basically saves the game?
I mean, what are you supposed to say? That's big time. That's big time. I don't know about you guys, but it felt like after he got up in the air and tipped that thing, that ball was in the air for days. I saw all of our defensive line and 2 backers blitz, and I felt like they were spinning around, looking in the air forever. And he came down with that as well as being the guy that tipped it. But those are the type of plays that Joe can make. And we talked before the game about not pressing. You know, people are talking about it a little bit. He doesn't need to press to make plays. If he just has the same expectations he had of himself last year and plays within the system, his experience, work ethic, and what he's done since last year will bring more of those plays.
Dave, when we look at the wide receivers, obviously a lot of weapons there. Is that, does spreading the ball kind of just happen there, or is that something you guys emphasize? What's the game plan like?
Yeah, I think with all 3 starting receivers, I think they all have a tremendous amount of talent, and that's a good problem to have to try and get the ball to them. But we go into every game, obviously, trying to run the football, but we also know that all 3 of those guys have got to get their touches, whether it's in the pass game, whether it's a jet sweep, whatever it is. But we need to get the ball to them, and you see what they do over and over again. It's you know, Felton's catch there at the end was amazing. I mean, the long catch there in front of their sideline was a big time catch. but those guys have the ability to do it, so we got to give them opportunities to do that.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.